An email dated August 31st, 2010 from you to John Glessner states, quote, Hilldale needs to totally dissociate itself from Jack, and it has to be real. Hillandale has a good business base, but it will be all gone if I don't move quickly, and I will not try to deceive the public, close quote. First, do you recall sending this email? Is the reference to Jack DeCoster? And further, why did you state that Hillandale needs to disassociate itself from Jack DeCoster? And why did you feel a need to state that you will not try to deceive the public? Had someone previously asked you to deceive the public? And if so, would you please share with the committee who that would be?
I respectfully decline to answer the question based on the...
Sorry, Mr. Bethel, would you please turn on the mic and pull it forward and then read your statement again? I
respectfully decline to answer the question based on the protection afforded me under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
I appreciate that. As the chairman, I did not excuse you as a witness. I felt obligated to ask you that question because it was significantly important part of our investigation. So, Mr. DeCoster, and either Mr. DeCoster, let me ask you this. You've seen the photographs. We've talked about the photographs taken by the Food and Drug Administration inspectors at your farms to document the observations made in Form 483 and show what appear to be astonishingly unsanitary conditions. How would you characterize these photographs, and do they warrant the alarm and concern being voiced here today? And if not, share with us why not.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The photo, and I haven't looked at all of them in detail, Mr. Congressman, but the rodents that were brought up in the 483, if we could take that one first, there was 31 rodents that was counted by FDA, and those 41 rodents were found in going through over 107 barns that we own. These barns cover approximately 66 acres of ground, just on the upper level, not counting the manure pits. So,
now, just, you know, rather than going through and dissecting out the data, do you think the alarm that has been evidenced here today, is that warranted?
I would like to invite each and every member of this board to come and view.
I wish we had had that opportunity also, Mr. DeCoster, but it wasn't afforded to us by the majority. Let's go on. I may submit some questions to you in writing, but as you see, the chairman has a pretty quick gavel with me. Prior to the FDA egg rule, there were no federal requirements, testing requirements for salmonella at egg production facilities, but some states and some industry groups voluntarily set guidelines. So if the salmonella testing is not required by law, why and when and why did you start testing for salmonella?
Our reason for testing for salmonella, we first originally started testing to see if we may have it. We didn't have any trace backs. We didn't have any reported illnesses. There was no government agency that says that we should test. We tested voluntarily because we was trying to learn if we had the problem, and then if we did have the problem, what would be the best practices that we could set forward.
Yeah, now I'm going to interrupt you again. I'm not trying to be rude, but let me just suggest that if you took 72 swabs in one day and all but 8 tested positive, you've got a problem.
Well, yes, sir.
Can I suggest that to you?
Well, you can suggest it, sir. But I'd like to talk to Dr. Chuck Holfaker. He's the leading expert on this, and he's been guiding us through this whole.
And I'll tell you what. Let me submit that to you in writing because I do want to get an additional question in. Prior to the egg rule, when your company received a positive environmental result for salmonella, what corrective action did you take, and did you automatically test the eggs as a precautionary measure?
The results, we've been taking this kind of as over a period of time. We've been learning more, been working with Dr. Holfaker, but we've implemented things such as vaccinating, and then vaccinating the flocks twice as we learn more. We've eliminated molting in our system, and we've also eliminated the use of meat and bone meal.
I'm going to stop you because I'm about to run out of time. When did the FDA come to you and suggest that you needed to recall your eggs? What, do you remember the calendar date?
I'm going to say the first initial contact was a phone call, and that would have been August 12th.
And what date did you institute the recall?
The very following day. We received that call that late afternoon, and the very next day we issued the recall.
Were you required to do so?
No, sir. It's a voluntary measure that we...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate your indulgence.
Thank you.